Internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is episode 16 of All That Glitters, a Waterdeep Dragon Heist campaign happening every Monday night right here on twitch.tv/Mini Terrain Domain, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, under the wonderful DMing prowess of Mr. Mike the Piper. At the break time, we're going to have some announcements that kind of cover the bulk of what goes on the channel, some advertisements and things like that. So I'm just going to tell you, one, we've got domain dice, those dragons you see, dragon coins you see down below the Dungeon Master. You can see what they do by typing domain dice in the chat or by reading the scroll along the bottom. You can purchase domain dice for us, the players, for 500 bits each or a $5 donation, and they do all kinds of wonderful things. Sometimes they mean the difference between life and death. And the only other thing I'm going to mention as I type this in is the 10K giveaway that I'm running on the channel right now, and apparently as I'm typing, it's not going into any chat. So let me try that again. I was just typing into the ether. A 10K giveaway. I think I'm screwing it up. I don't know. Nope, I got it right. If you follow that link, you could win one of 3 Game Masters bundles that are sitting right here on my shelf behind me. A D&D 5th edition starter set. A set of minis coordinated to the pre-gens within there. The starter set, all pre-painted from WizKids. 6 complete sets of dice. That's 42 additional dice with bags. And one lucky winner will get all of that, plus a player's handbook, a Dungeon Master's guide, a monster manual, and the Dungeon Master screen reincarnated, all to get you going in your own D&D games at your own table. So, without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Mike the Piper, because this is his game after all.
Yeah, okay, but I'm not wearing a cape, so there's that.
I am.
Exactly.
I'm
See?
100% wearing a red velvet cape.
Damn Skippy. Man, you use as a superhero. You are a superhero.
Hey, we established in the last session that Six was wearing a cape.
Yeah, but if I'd have known that it was a cosplay session, I would have shown. Oh,
I'm not full. Although Six is also wearing a hat with a feather in it.
All right.
I don't have a big purple feather, or I would show that. I do have small bird feathers in here.
Well, there. You know what? Hey, that's perfect. Perfect. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to session 16 of All That Glitters. Looking forward to this one because I'm going to do horrible things to these players, and I just can't wait. As Jake had mentioned before, if you look down just below me, the domain dice helps out the players. Kind of wish you wouldn't be so awesome, but you guys are awesome. And as such, the players have, 9 chances to retry their fate, and well, hopefully I won't absolutely wreck their faces, but hey, who can say, right? Because it's not like I've got a whole lot of evil things planned. I don't. So before we begin, as is tradition, I'm going to ask one of these amazing people, probably not Dwight, but I might do it for the lulz, who would like to give a recap of last session for a point of inspiration. Cool. Then I can give
I'm all out of inspiration, so I will try my best.
Oh, I was going to give myself some inspiration.
Uh-oh, we lost Dwight.
Oh.
Outgoing.
That always makes it awkward visually. Not for me, because I'm still in my own window.
That was awesome. Megan, that's awesome. You're just like kind of popping up there. There you go. Megan is totally a stand-in Dwight. That's fantastic.
Didn't this just this just happened in last night's game?
You could
Here, V, I got you covered.
Thank you.
Or rather, uncovered. The unfortunate. I always forget about the unfortunate placement of the camera.
Cleavage cam.
When it resets.
Unfortunately, it seems like Dwight's system crashed.
Oh no! Did he get the updated death?
I don't know.
Somebody let him know in the chat that we'll try to continue for a little bit and just let us know if he's not if it's
okay
something he can't bypass, because then I can reset the cameras. But at least verbally, since it's me doing the recap, it would be nice if he could hear it since he wasn't here. But I'll do the recap for us, and we'll see what we can do. I'll just vamp, because if there's one thing I know how to do, it's to draw things out. I use my extensive knowledge of performance, the way of the crowd, appealing to them. And I know how to make people want it even more than they knew they did when they came in the door.
Okay, maybe just pull it back a little. Just pull it back, just ever so.
I don't know how to tone it down. This is not a thing. This
true.
is not a thing that I can do.
You're definitely a Spinal Tap, turn it all the way up to 11 kind of person.
It is always at 11. It does not go anywhere other than 11. So, what I remember is we were surrounded by the city guard while in the Growlhund Manor. Through some clever use of wordplay, I probably had something to do with this. We managed to talk our way out of this. If I'm being honest, I did have a little help. A little help from my friends, but we managed to find our way outside of the Growlhund Manor. And then we spent the day shopping. We talked to Micken, because it is time that we have it's time that we have a special access from our apartment down into the Nobody's Inn Tavern. And we have made arrangements with Micken. We also went to a jeweler's. No, we went to a. I write like a tabaxi. I cannot read my handwriting. Camaral's Coins.
Nice. Very nice.
And yes, they have a very lovely symbol of balance scales on the outside. Very high class, dark wood flooring. We should definitely see about staining the flooring at the Nobody's Inn. And we met with a very tall, short-haired lynx-like tabaxi who was a little too uppity for my taste. But he did give us a good deal on a safe that, ironically, the very things that we wanted to protect, such as valuable gold bars, were used to purchase the safe. So we have less gold bars, but we have need of a safe because of the need for a secure location to store the purse for the upcoming wine tasting, I believe. So we made all of those arrangements, and then we were heading over to, I don't remember if we were all going there. Was I there with you, Kiara? Yes. We all went to see some friends of Kiara's, a halfling, but I don't think she was too pleased with Kiara, because she said something to her, she mumbled in a weird way. She looked very disappointed. That is not a look I am very accustomed to. People are rarely disappointed with my performances. But this half-elf, she was very disappointed. She turned her back on us. She closed the door. And I believe that just about covers everything that happened to me and my friends.
True, with the exception that none of you could see this halfling except for Kiara. And when the doors close, it just seems like they had just closed on their own.
So Kiara looked very disappointed.
Kiara, you're right. Exactly. Kiara looked very probably looked a little bit confused and surprised. And then you see like her hand, like she brought her hand up, kind of in a strange sort of motion. And that's when the doors just started to close on their own.
Well, you understand that I spend so much time on stage living in fantasy, one foot in reality, that sometimes it is difficult for me to tell the difference between the two.
Art imitates life.
Exactly. I resemble that remark.
That's right. Okay. So, yes, give yourself a point of inspiration. That was perfect. Hopefully, Dwight, you caught some of that. All right, that's okay. All right. Well, needless to say, I can't wait to see your secondary character. It's going to be great. Just kidding. But if there's no other questions from you fine folks, let us begin. Session 16 of All That Glitters. And we're going to start with you, Bevyn. Bevyn, you're in a comfortable place, a safe place that you feel, I guess, happiest since coming to Waterdeep all those years ago. You're in the study. And nowhere do you feel more comfortable than being surrounded by knowledge, surrounded by words of prose, of information. As you're kind of curled up on the couch or on one of the sofas, what are you reading?
That's a good question. I'm reading a book about the history of the Castle Ward area of Waterdeep. So that's been my main focus. The last several weeks is just what's the history of this place that I've moved to and that I'm coming to do business in. So yeah, that's what I've been reading the last couple of days is Castle Ward information.
And what you've discerned is the Castle Ward is one of the oldest parts of Waterdeep. When Waterdeep was originally just a small town, hundreds, if not thousands of years ago, the Castle Ward stood kind of as a small area, a market, a main road that went through, especially the Warrior's Way. That was kind of the main street, Waterdeep Way, and then went right down to the River Gate and out. And it was a smaller town, maybe a few thousand people. And as towns grow and as the kind of urban sprawl begun to organically move outward, soon the Castle Ward was joined by the Sea Ward and expanded southward down to the Dock Ward. The nobility of the time built Castle Waterdeep as a kind of halfway point between the Castle Ward and the Dock Ward, controlling over the trade and the kind of main area where most people lived. And of course, as time progressed, smaller alleyways and side streets began to kind of find their way in different locales. That a small palace that had once been another rival noble, which was Pirgiron's palace, now serves as the kind of city hall. One would kind of say it is the kind of clerical center, the heartbeat of all of the comings and goings of not trade, edicts, anything that passes over the city usually goes through this place. It's a beautiful white marble palace with offices for all the city officials and any sort of administration happens in that area. And of course, the market, which at the time, many centuries ago, was just a small area, rapidly grew. And even though there are shops and like areas of commerce all around the city in small areas, you know that the market, which serves at this point probably a little more than a kind of ceremonial aspect, is still quite a place that you can buy almost anything in. Which is why they call it the City of Splendors, as the Sword Coast, all roads seem to find their way at some point in or around Waterdeep's main walls. And as you're reading, you kind of absentmindedly go to reach a glass, and you remember that it was empty because you'd already drank the last of whatever alcohol was in there. But as you kind of absentmindedly go to reach it again, you realize that it has been filled up. The decanter, the liquid in the decanter is still moving ever so slightly, as you would appear that you would think that Liff had filled it back up for you. As you go to take a sip, as you turn the page, you hear kind of a very light at the door to the study.
Okay, so I'll look around. Kind of odd. Wasn't expecting there to be anybody around, but I'll set the book down on the table, finish my swig of my drink, and set it down as well, and go answer the door.
And as you open the door, you see very quickly that it's not one of the fellow members of your party, but it is Esvel. She is standing, and normally, like, she looks like she's always like she's full of confidence. Like, she walks, even with the way she walks, she definitely feels like like she feels self-confident. But she's standing before you now, and you can tell, like, it seems like it's kind of been taken out of her a bit. Her hands, like, her shoulders are a bit hunched, and her hands are kind of together, and she seems to be fidgeting. And at first, she doesn't look you in the eye. She's actually looking down. But she kind of looks up. Hi.
So I'll just fully open the door and kind of step aside to leave room for her to walk past. And my lady, I wasn't expecting you, but please, can I get you something to drink? And I'll gesture for her to move in, but I'll gesture towards the desk area.
Okay.
So.
She goes and sits by the desk, and she looks at you and says, I thought we could talk. Guessing, well, we obviously didn't leave the last time we saw each other on exceptional terms, and I missed you, and I want to see if everything's all right.
So I grab my drink, and I'll pour her one as well and bring it over to her, and then I'll sit down at my desk my chair in the desk across the desk from her. Things have been fine. I guess you're right. It wasn't the best of endings last time we spoke, but right. What brings you here today?
I haven't heard from you in 2 or 3 days. I would like to see you. And because I haven't heard or seen anything of you in 2 or 3 days, I thought you might be mad at me.
No, mad's not the word I would say, but being honest, it's given me time to think that first reactions to this arrangement, or whatever you want to call it, it's not something I was looking for. And while I've enjoyed my time with you, seems pretty obvious to me we're both involved in things that maybe don't make for the best bedfellas.
You can hear the dust settling on things. The room has grown so quiet. Arrangement. This was an arrangement to you. Am I a business dealing to you? Is my heart something that you can trade over?
Well, I didn't know we were talking about hearts here. We, if I remember when we spoke the first time, I told you this wasn't the right idea. And you just wanted to go about doing things, see where they led. And they led where they led, and I don't know they need to lead anywhere else.
She stands up. And you can see now her eyes are watering. I'm sorry I took time from you. And she, like, she's crushed. And I mean, it doesn't take an insight check to see it. Tears are streaming down her face. She even puts her hand up to her chest for a moment, and I'm sorry I came. And she just walks out the door. She stops and she turns to look back at you, tears streaming in her eyes. She says, her lips part for a moment like she's going to say something, but she just turns and walks out.
So as she leaves, Bevyn definitely just stands there. He's got this kind of befuddled look on his face, and he stares after her for a beat or two longer than you would think is normal. And then he just kind of shakes his head, and he just kind of pulls himself, and he tugs on his tunic a little bit, and then finishes his drink, and then heads over and shuts the door and sits back down with his book.
Okay. And as the door closes, the three of you are left standing in the front of the temple. There's no, although the doors are beautifully carved and everything else, there's nothing else. People are just walking past, and you are looking now at the temple doors.
So, are we going in, or what?
I hold on. I got a cat trying to climb my back. I don't think that now's the right time. Perhaps we should come back later, or maybe I should come back on my own. But I don't think that they're open at the moment.
temple not open? Isn't that kind of the thing? That they're open all the time?
Well, yes, in some respects, but sometimes you find out that things beyond your control have occurred that keep you from being able to go in. And she's going to be looking at the cut on her arm.
Are you all right?
I honestly don't know right now, quite frankly.
Well, and she's like looking at Six, like clearly this is like kind of, she's very like awkwardly just looking back and forth. Do you want to go home?
You know, maybe it's best. Go home, take a look at things, especially with the safe being delivered. Make sure it gets into a spot we want to have it. Because quite, you know, how much do they say it weighed? 800 pounds?
Right, something like that.
Yes, best to be back at home just to make sure that it gets where we need it to be before we put it where it needs to hide away. But I certainly don't want to try lifting that thing. I'll see if I can find something in the study. Maybe there's some information that gives us an idea as to who we need to speak to for your situation. But right now, I don't think I can go in there.
All right. I won't pretend like I know anything about this god nonsense, but you know, we're here for you.
Thank you, my dear.
She kind of smiles, like thinking that she said the right thing. Right.
Six just gives you a big thumbs up. Like,
all right, well, best we get back then and see what our darling Bevyn's been up to.
thank you to Starin19 for the 500 bits, bringing us up to 10 domain type.
So as you make your way down, and I guess I'll just ask you guys, which way are you going to go from the Tower of Luck?
Kiara is definitely going to be skirting around a certain villa.
Not a problem. So if, just having a look here, if you were to make your way down, I guess, the Street of the Singing Dolphin, you could turn onto, I'm actually trying to think here.
The map's still loading, but there's a way to kind of like go up a little bit and then back down.
Yes, you can actually. Yes, you actually go up the Street of the Singing Dolphin, which is what the Tower of Luck is on, and then you turn right onto Ivory Street. As you're passing Ivory Street, however, you see a small road that has a kind of slightly dilapidated sign that says Sighing Maiden's Walk. And then you keep going a little bit more, and you see a few individuals that kind of look like they're adventurers, much like yourselves. You see them armed fairly well, like armored. You see a few of them kind of holding, like with robes and everything else, and a few of them have like a couple of wands out as well. And you see them all kind of standing in line in this, what looks to be the entrance to an alleyway. And there's an individual there who is kind of sitting at a little kind of kiosk right beside the alleyway. And then you kind of hear him. Oh, now serving number 43, party 43. Is that you? Yes, you. No, probably not you, barbarian. Let's have a look. Come on. And you see this large woman, very tall, like very muscular, wearing like different furs, carrying this huge great axe that's been like notched that to make it look like serrated and even more vicious looking, carries and hands this little tab of paper. No, your party 44. It's never wonder that barbarians know how to read. Right, party 43. On you go. Remember, if you die, we get to keep all of your gear, so try not to. Welcome to Blue Alley. And you see the adventurers go in, and as they do, like it's almost like it's like pushing on cellophane. They seem to like walk through the alley, and you almost see the vision of the alley kind of bend in, and then just kind of go back, and then just kind of like wobble. It looks like reality wobbles, and then just gone.
I'm already looking to see where people are getting numbers from.
All right. You just see the kiosk and like kind of a lineup, but it's not really a lineup. More as just like small groups of adventurers just kind of like huddled together.
I walk up to the kiosk.
All right. You see a kind of small human. You're not exactly sure of like if it's a man or a woman. You're not entirely certain of the gender. And they're sitting in this kiosk, and you can see they're counting like different coins and kind of putting like some platinum pieces into like kind of one pouch and some gold into another and silver, and just kind of like spacing it all out.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I'm wondering if you can tell me a question.
Tell you a question.
Don't make fun of the way I talk. Please.
Right.
I would like to ask you a question. You will tell me the answer, perhaps.
All right.
I'm wondering what is this blue alley?
What, is this your first time here?
I don't make it to this far to the north very much.
Ah, too good for it, are you? Well, this is the Blue Alley. The Blue Alley used to be owned by a wizard a couple 100 years ago, till he went absolutely stark raving balmy, if you know what I mean. Anyway, after that, he created this magical death trap, horrendous thing called the Blue Alley. And any adventurer worth their salt would go through to challenge and get all of the treasures and other things that this absolutely stark raving mad wizard hid in there, or to meet certain death. Certain death is almost a certainty, unless you live, in which case it's not a certainty anymore.
So what do you have to do to qualify to go into this blue alley?
They kind of look at you. Who's in your party then?
I am, of course, accompanied by the mystical and talented communicator with the gods, Kiara, Piros, and the mistress of shadow herself, Anna, and a man who is so skilled at hiding, you can't even see him here right now, Bevyn.
It's because he's not here right now. Anyway, great. I mean, you all sound like a class act, and they kind of like their eyes flit from Kiara to Six to Anna and back. I don't think you're quite ready for the Blue Alley. Also, it costs 10 platinum if you'd like to join, or at least like to try your luck.
I give my coin purse a little bit of a jingle. The cost is of no concern. The fact that you think we are not ready does worry me a bit.
Well, looking at the other adventurers that are waiting, you can see like these individuals are like they look like they've like prepared for this. I mean, you know, you see some of them like some of them are counting, throwing knives. A few of them are like dealing out like several potions of healing to each other. You know, some of them are like prepping spells in their wizarding books. A few of them are praying for divine guidance. Any like warriors or martial type characters, they're dressed in like heavy armor. They have like very, very big swords, very, very big shields. A lot of them are wearing very, very thick helmets. These individuals are prepped for this thing. So
how many people have succeeded at this the challenge of this Blue Alley?
less than those that go in, but some.
Interesting. I look at Kiara and Anna with this look of just that pure innocence of a child that's like, I really want to ride this roller coaster.
Six, darling, perhaps let's just give this a little bit more time as suggested. We do have a full plate right now. Not saying no, I'm just saying let's save this for later.
Don't you think we should ask Bevyn before you go signing him up for certain death as well?
Since when do you need anybody's permission to do something, Anna?
I don't, but it's me, so...
I mean, how do you even argue with that? You don't. That's what.
I just look at this person at the kiosk. I look longingly at the Blue Alley. I will be back. We will be back.
Yeah,
Perhaps. Maybe. We shall see. And Kiara's going to look at Six like, okay, let's go now.
All right, then. We'll see you later. Have fun.
I stand there staring at the person at the kiosk after I say we will be back, just long enough for it to start to feel uncomfortable. And then another moment longer.
And as you're staring like, and they're trying not to be uncomfortable by it, they just quickly, next party 44. Yes, that's you, Biggin. Come on. And like Barbarian she's just stomping through. And as a matter of fact, she even puts a hand on you, Six, and like pushes you out of the way. Like, and you're not even moving so much as you're sliding along the cobblestones as she's kind of moving out of the way and trucking towards Blue Alley.
It is amazing, I say, finally turning away and joining back up with Anna and Kiara. It is amazing, all of the wonders and splendors that reveal themselves when we inexplicably keep taking the long way.
Long way?
We seem to be going a roundabout way.
What? I like to see the sights. There's nothing wrong with that. Look, see, we took an indirect route and you found something nice and new and shiny for you.
But you won't let me do it.
Well, not right now when 10 platinum are involved and you're volunteering 3 of us and we have yet to discuss it.
You could go by yourself.
By all means.
Where's the fun in that?
Yes, so let's get back to the manor and we'll speak with Bevyn, and hopefully Bevyn will be of reasonable mind and we'll put a pin in this one.
Within about 10 paces, Six has already forgotten about Blue Alley, or apparently by appearances, and is already just looking around at the people and the places and the things.
Sure. As you continue to walk down, you very quickly pass the Temple of Soon, which is the Temple of Beauty. You've been there before. You've seen the kind of the beautiful white marble edifices in front, all the mirrors, and it's a gorgeous thing as you pass Ivory Street and then start heading down Diamond Street. You make a quick cut down Diamond till you hit Vondel. Going straight down Vondel Street, you pass by Sarsanter's tapestries and draperies. So, in case you ever needed to get tapestries or draperies, just saying, it's there. And then you kind of cross the high road down Serdune Street. And as you make your way into Troll Skull Alley, lo and behold, you come across a wagon with a large covered boxy looking thing. You see a couple of you see a single individual kind of sitting there, and she's looking around, and then kind of like hops off the wagon.
Are you lost, my dear?
Oh, well, I was just looking for Troll Skull Manor. I think this is it. And she points right at your home.
Yes, you found it as well as the proprietors.
Oh, wonderful. I am from Camaril's Coins. And she does this kind of bow that you can definitely tell that she has no practice with whatsoever. And I am here to deliver your safe.
By yourself?
Yes.
That's quite impressive.
I mean, we're in Waterdeep. Like, hang on. And she goes to the back and she kind of flicks off this canvas oilskin cover, and you see now this huge black steel safe. It's about 2 feet wide by about 3 feet deep by about 4.5 feet high. You get what you paid for, kids. And she looks and she goes, okay, so where do you want it? Was it going in the tavern or is it going up in the manor?
It's definitely going up into the study.
Great. Okay. I'll bring it right up. There's going to be no furniture that I'm going to hit on the way in, right? There's nothing in the way.
We can definitely make sure we move things out of the way for you. We'll just go quickly ahead and make sure there's a clear path.
Fantastic. Thank you. Oh, and can someone hold the door for me? It's a little bit tough to maneuver.
Absolutely, of course. Say no more.
Great. Thank you. And then you see her go and she's just starting to like fiddle with some stuff. And
yeah, Kiara's gonna be like moving up the stairs and looking over her shoulder, like absolutely stunned. It's just one person to like delivering this one thing. So,
and how about the rest of you?
Anna is following Kiara up the stairs.
I'm staying outside because I'm very curious how this person plans to do this.
Curious tabaxi, huh? It's really what you know.
There has never ever been any idioms or sayings about the effects of curiosity on cats.
Not at all. Not at all. I would never, as a DM, use this to drop a safe on you. With a side saying Acme. Never in my life. I'm gonna write that down. So you see her get ready. She grabs what looks to be like kind of a I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it looks like to be like standard paperwork, but it's kind of rolled up with like a leather backing. So when it rolls up into kind of like a small leather tube. She kind of rolls that up and kind of puts that kind of around her neck. And she reaches in, she's looking in, and then she kind of like, you see her kind of leaning over for a moment, 6, and then you see the safe starting to shift left to right as she's kind of like going in there and trying to like look. She looks like she's doing something, and as it begins to tip and tip and tip left to right, even the wagon's not moving itself, but just the safe is starting to like wobble, and then suddenly it stops, and you just see it start to go up, and you see this young lady holding what looks to be some sort of a wand. And she's kind of holding it, and she's kind of moving it. And you see her kind of moving it with what looks to be either the wand or her mind, or you don't know. But she moves the safe over, and it kind of lifts itself and just kind of gently goes off of the wagon. And she begins to kind of walk, and as she's walking, the safe is moving just ahead of her. She you see it pitches and turns and begins to kind of go up on a diagonal, as if it's just moving completely on its own. Okay, is the door open? You can tell she can't really kind of see.
Yes, we're open, and we're making sure everything's clear.
Okay, here we go. And you can see now this safe, Kiara. You can see this safe like moving in on its own with like nothing, no wheels, no lifting, nothing. It's just like floating. Okay, so where would you like it?
I think Kiara's just kind of standing there, sort of like stunned, seeing the safe just sort of floating nicely and moving as she's guiding it with a wand.
In the study, right?
From
Yes.
from down the stairs, I call up. Yes, we were going to put it into Bevyn's study.
Right this way. And Anna's gonna go towards where the study is.
Okay.
If he's in there, have fun breaking the news.
I think he'll get it when he sees the safe.
God's hoping he does. Otherwise, this is going to be rather interesting to explain.
So Anna's gonna walk up a bit ahead of the safe towards the study.
Yeah, and she takes it up the stairs, once again, going up and around, and you guys make it outside the door of the study.
Anna's just gonna walk in.
Legit.
Is
Classic
Bevyn-
Anna.
So how long has it been since Evsel left and they get back?
I would say it's probably been around an hour and a half, an hour.
So as Anna walks in, she sees Bevyn sitting on this couch with his back to the door, and as she flings the door open, he just kind of startles and then stands up. And as he stands up, he knocks over a completely empty bottle of liquor onto the floor, and he just kind of, Anna,
God's Bev. Are you all right?
Oh, right. Fine. Yeah. What is that a safe?
Yeah, we bought a safe while you were out gallivanting about to keep all of our money.
Right. Oh, well, that's a right fine idea. And he's moving away from the door, as shuffling away from the door, not looking at Anna at all. Yeah. Right. Well, bring it in. And then, he'll just kind of shuffle and stand by the window at this point while they're working.
We thought here would be the best. It's kind of safe place.
And Bevyn can't help but grin at that. In fact, he probably chuckles a little bit, which is not something he would normally do. Just, well, oh, right.
Micken is going to be coming later on, and he's going to disguise it behind some of these bookshelves. At least that's the plan, anyway.
Aria's going to take one look at Bevyn.
What happened?
Nothing. Everything's fine.
You're not yourself.
I'm me as I am every day. It's fine. Safe.
Well, if fine doesn't seem to be the actual case, you know how to find me.
Right. And I'll just kind of scuttle over and pick up the whiskey bottle and kind of put the decanter back where it's supposed to go. And I just kind of make a point of like shuffling books around on the bookshelves that aren't unshuffled, straightening things that aren't crooked.
Also, Six wanted to kill you today. Thought you should know that.
Well, in a
And
roundabout manner.
That is not entirely true.
Well, it's slightly true considering what the what is it? The stats were for survival.
Look, those kind of things, they always try to scare you into it. They make it seem like it's a bigger challenge to tap into your bravado. I think it is something that we could do. Did you not hear the part where he said treasures and riches?
Did you not hear the 10 platinum part?
As you're talking, you just hear this little
hello. I need you to sign for this.
Of course. And Kiara is going to nudge Anna. You did pay for it after all.
I'm not signing my name on anything. Sorry.
Oh, good. Of course I will sign.
Thank you.
And she hands, like, she kind of flicks down this thing, unrolls it. I just need your signature here, here, and here.
I sign in each of the spots my full name 6 days into summer, and both of the S's are garishly large.
As one does. And she kind of, as she kind of like lifts up one section of parchment, and it's another section of parchment that is kind of like a receipt. And so she just kind of touches the edge, and then it automatically kind of like pops and then rolls back up. So that's for you, for your records, I suppose. Enjoy your safe. Here is the code. If you need to change it, there's here, and she kind of like runs all of you through a small way, like just the way to change the lock, and it's basically just a small mechanism that you can go to any of the numbers and kind of just like select them in kind of like a little hidden compartment. She hands that to you. Thank you for choosing Kamal's coins. Anyway, I need to go. Parade day tomorrow. And she kind of like takes off.
Thank you very much. So, Bevyn.
6.
Okay, that's enough awkwardness for today.
What have you been up to other than buying a really, really big safe for our study?
That pretty much sums up what we've been up to.
Anna has this huge grin on her face. We also discovered that Micken has all of the we think he has all of the layouts of all the buildings in Waterdeep, maybe. Possibly.
That
yes, I'd forgotten all
immediately,
about that.
like, Bevyn just snaps to, his eyes just go wide, and he just looks right at Anna with this can't keep the grin off of his face grin. Really?
Anna just like smiles and nods.
I had no idea that both of you were so interested in the architecture of Waterdeep.
Kiara is just going to look at Six like, are you serious?
Six has proven by now that he's not exactly the brightest.
Yeah, neither is Kiara, but this one's not going over her head.
He's a genius when it comes to arranging entertainment, but he does not read between the lines so well.
So this these layouts, is this something, how'd you come on this information? Is it something is he selling? Is he sharing? What?
I doubt it, but we were looking for a door to put here, but and he went into this what is that shape you would say?
The honeycomb?
Right, that. And it was all categorized by place, neighborhood, area in Waterdeep.
It's practically a who's who's of who has what built when and where.
So, and Bevyn just starts kind of pacing, staring at the books as he's walking around, thinking, that's quite a productive trip there.
And tomorrow is parade day. Busy, loud,
Distracting.
everyone. Right.
Yeah. Bevyn just, like, you haven't seen him smile like this in a long time. Well, probably nobody but Anna has ever seen him smile like this. And within maybe three to 5 seconds, he just catches himself, and he right back to stone face. But
What was that thing you were doing just now, Bevyn? With your teeth? I have never seen this. It looks sort of like this, and I make a very uncomfortable looking Cheshire's grin.
Don't ever do that again unless you want to scare small children.
Sometimes perhaps I do.
well, Six, I'm just a big fan of parades.
Now, a parade is something I can get behind. Or sometimes it is better to be in front of. One day. So, what are we going to do now?
I was going to say, at this point, you have the evening to do whatever it is you would like to do. Go to the tavern. Spitball some stuff. You do still need to find the Nimblewright and try and figure out what's going on there. And that's going to be kind of foot intensive. There's a city of 2 million people, and you're going to find a Nimblewright. One. Hiding. But, you got this.
I think Anna would suggest that we could go for a bit of a walk. A little finder.
Hide and go seek?
You also get wasted at the tavern, too. I mean, it's, Bevyn's winning on that.
I could do to get out of here.
You look like you could use a walk out in the fresh air.
Right. Well,
It is probably best to do this, as you suggest, Anna. Perhaps before the parade? There's going to be a lot of people there for that. I would think it would be even harder to find this Rimble Knight. Nimblewright. What is it called?
You got it right the third time.
I don't remember what I said. That was more me screwing that up than Six.
Nimble right.
Perfect.
little bit of dyslexia slipping through there.
Yep.
All right.
So Bevyn will slip out. He's going to slip into his quarters and change clothes.
Slip
wash
into
his
something
face.
a little more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Fair. Okay. And right now, around this time, it's probably getting around 4 o'clock, 4:30. The sun is starting to, just kind of dip in the sky. It's getting to a point where it's kind of, not quite dusk, but it's, it's starting being autumn and all. There's definitely a bit of a chill in the air as, winter is coming. But it's definitely still a beautiful tapestry of golds and browns and orange as you kind of step out into Troll Skull Alley. So now for the fun bit. Where would you like to look?
What do we even know about this Nimblewright thing?
First, do we even know how to work this thing?
Looking at the Nimblewright detector, it looks to be like a bicycle handbrake on one thing. So I mean, it takes literally no roll to figure out that if you push this thing, and once you even grip it, and it seems to automatically kind of turn on, and you see this kind of little umbrella, strange looking umbrella shaped thing on top kind of whirring, and it's just making this kind of as it's just slowly spinning.
Well, that doesn't draw a lot of attention, does it?
Definitely not subtle.
It's Waterdeep. Nothing is subtle.
This is true.
Even the crimes you're going to commit aren't subtle. Really looking forward to those two. So yeah, and you see it the way it looks like the little umbrella on top. It almost looks like if you get close or something, it might start to move in some way, or maybe even kind of point a direction. But as for right now, you're not near a Nimblewright at all.
I think that Anna would look to Bevyn. If you were a robot that did some bad stuff, probably influenced by some bad people, where would you hide?
Where the bad people are.
Right. I think
We might want to go over a couple of blocks. I think I might have a lead. Remember that little...
That was oddly mysterious.
Well, remember that interesting carriage and the fellow who popped out and said it was good to see me again?
Yes, we'll say that I do remember this.
Let's just say I wouldn't be surprised if he took on the use of a Nimblewright for his own personal gain.
Interesting. Lead the way.
Kiara's going to so begrudgingly lead the way towards where she does not want to go.
Fair.
Anna's going to hand this thing over to Six. I think this is more fitting for you.
Okay. This is a very peculiar thing.
For a very peculiar person.
I'm assuming you want me to take offense at that, but I'm not going to take offense at that.
Anna smiles, but you can see she's like, dang it.
All right, I think if it's okay with you, Mike, I'm going to show what this looks like.
Sure, yeah, 100%. I would really appreciate that. There it is. So it's a strange-looking contraption with a cocktail umbrella on top.
It did not show as transparent like it should have, but yeah, just so I had to see what this thing looked like.
Hey, I don't blame you at all. It is, like I said, I mean, even in your wildest drug-fueled imagination, could you ever hope to try to describe this thing accurately? Like, you look at this thing and it's like, well, I mean, it looks like, yeah. So there you go.
I will say this. Six has absolutely no qualms whatsoever about holding this thing out in front of him and pressing the lever and just kind of, I'm not trying to hide it. I'm perfectly comfortable holding this weird apparatus as we walk through the streets.
And as you walk through the streets, you know, the dinner crowd and a lot of people who are kind of getting ready to go to taverns or just go out and have fun. You know, they don't really pay you much mind in a place where, you know, your average shop has a wand of telekinesis that kind of just carries things around. It just seems to be a very standard practice. So as you're walking by, people aren't really paying attention. Maybe like you get one or two turned heads, but even then it's like, maybe they're trying a new thing. You know, and it kind of, it's just like whirring slowly. And as you go down Delzoran Street and then head down Diamond Street, you make it to the very imposing, very austere villa of the Castellanters. The gates are locked.
Kiara is going to pop her hood up and just sort of look at the device, sort of annoyed. Is it doing anything yet?
It is doing this whirring.
It's been doing the exact same thing the entire time that you've been walking over.
So no changes?
It looks the same. I don't see it doing anything. I'm not entirely sure if I'm using this right, and I'm going to turn it completely upside down.
Oh, no.
Nothing. Yeah, it's just still doing its kind of slow whirring.
You said we're standing outside of like a big mansion?
Yes, just right outside these black iron gates.
I wonder if perhaps I should climb up on top of this roof here.
Remember last time we tried climbing something? Didn't exactly end well.
Well, I mean, to be fair, that was wasn't that a temple of some kind?
Yes, and this is far worse. Trust me on that one.
How is this worse? It's a big reach house.
Full of very influential people who don't exactly care for people coming in who are uninvited.
Hey, do you know who lives here?
I do. But if that thing's not saying, look here, maybe we should just keep going rather than waste our time looking at this grandiose thing.
Well, what other leads do we have?
Maybe head back to its creation point? Temple of Gond?
Yes, that's the place I was climbing. They did not like that.
No, they didn't.
So, who lives here then?
A very influential couple. You don't want to tangle with them, trust me on that one.
Right.
They're the reason why I left Waterdeep. More so she than he.
Oh.
Very oh.
Mike, given Bevyn's studies of Waterdeep, would anything I came across give me any kind of hints as where how we might narrow this search down at all?
The nimble rights are a new thing. You see, like there are some wealthy, influential individuals who do own nimble rights. Perhaps they are individuals who find technology to be just like the new cool thing. So a few people, like a few wealthier individuals, have nimble rights, or a few wealthy, like not just nobility but merchants might have a nimble right around as a servant, but they are very few and far between. So it's not every house has an nimble right. There isn't like some wizard named Steve Jobs just kind of like sitting around handing these things out at overpriced lineups. But
it's Tim Apple. Come on.
I just couldn't. But only 200 platinum pieces each. Get the latest one now in rose gold. So yeah, so like you said, they're not common, but they are starting to be a bit more like, hey, I know these things.
Well, quite frankly, pick one direction over the other. I don't think it's going to matter much because there's not much of a lead.
Right. Maybe, so we're in the, we're kind of in the northwest of town now.
So right now you are currently just above the Sea Ward. If you were looking at on the map, you are on Delzorn and Diamond. Mm-hmm. There's a light gray dot that says the Castellanter Villa.
So maybe we cut down to the southern ward, cut the city into, see if we can pick up any signal as we cut diagonally across town.
You tell me where to go, and I will point this thing in that direction.
Sounds fair to me. Definitely more of a lead than we've had so far.
So I will. I'll just kind of set off at this point. I'll head back down up to Delzorn Street. Thought being, just head down Delzorn down to Mendeavor Street. Sorry, I'm reading sideways. Okay. Take that south towards the market. Thought being kind of cut across the market and then maybe towards the high road to head. Thought being just kind of weave our way from northwest corner to southeast corner of town.
That's a good that's definitely a good idea. And that takes you guys around, like, just to get to that, like to the high road, down probably like Waterdeep Way and High Road, in that corner of the castle ward. Probably takes you a good 45-50 minutes. So it's getting on to be like somewhere around like 5:45. It's definitely darker out now. The sun has since set. During that whole time, it hasn't really gone off that you can tell. I mean, you might every so often get a little tick, and then it just keeps on whirring. So you haven't really there's really nothing per se that's happening. From Waterdeep Way and High Road, would you like to continue down the High Road, or would you like to like cut through the Dock Ward and into the Southern Ward, or how would you want to?
Yeah, I don't know. I would say heading through the Dock Ward makes sense to me, because there's plenty of places to stash something like this or hide something like this if you've got something you don't want it in your house.
Right.
And
So,
we've already encountered some very strange things in the dockyard.
What? That's crazy talk.
So I agree with your logic.
Okay. So what do you guys want to do, or how do you want to do? You want to go down like that main kind of street, like Snail Street?
yeah.
Yeah. All right. As you head down Snail Street, everything just typical. You see a lot of sailors, a lot of drunks, people like kind of having a good time. Slightly more seedier part of the city. But once you get down to Snail Street and Fish Street, the Nimblewright detector starts like whirring but quickly, and you see now as you're kind of holding this thing and it's kind of whirring quickly and it looks kind of weird. It looks like the little umbrella kind of almost detaches and kind of goes up, and it begins to kind of like go side to side, and then it starts like kind of the umbrella starts like flapping open and close and kind of looks to be pointing somewhere down more towards the docks themselves.
I think we've got something here. And I start moving back and forth and in whatever direction that it seems to be leading.
It looks to be heading down Fish Street.
So I take a step back and just let Six take the lead with this, and I'm gonna kind of hang back a few paces and keep an eye on our surroundings to see if I notice anything.
Sure.
While Six is just with this thing.
And I'm 100% not looking for the Nimblewright. I am only looking at the detector and sort of where I'm going.
Sure, not a problem. Other than a few sailors muttering a few curses at you as you kind of bump into them, stumbling down Fish Street, you hear a few of them, "Get out of the way, you bloody drunk!" And them themselves are also fairly inebriated as they're stumbling down the street into the next tavern. As you get to the corner of Fish Street and Wastrel Alley, it's suddenly kind of the Nimblewright detector kind of suddenly turns sharp left as it heads looks to be right for the main dock. You just pass an inn called the Sailor's Corner, and as you follow it down, the detector seems to be shooting between two different ships that are at port. Two very large ships.
Does it take me right out onto that dock?
Right out onto the dock.
So as I get to that point where it seems to suddenly be flipping back and forth, I suddenly, looking up to see where it's pointing, I see the one ship, and then I see the other ship, and then I look back and forth and I realize I'm looking at ships, which means water, which means I suddenly look down and realize I'm about halfway out on this dock, very much closer to the water than I want to be. And I freeze. And that's about all that I can manage at the moment.
And you, in your nervousness, as you're kind of flitting back and forth between the water and the two ships, you see that one ship is named the Heartbreaker, and the other one is named the Hellraiser. They both have the same looking figureheads, a maiden kind of bare-chested, but one's holding a trident. The other one is bare-chested and looks to be holding a bow with the arrow kind of still in, pointed ahead. There's lots of activity that you can see. You can see individuals climbing up and down the masts and kind of moving around. Lots of very, very busy, even at this time. I assume at this time, probably the rest of you catch up, or if you haven't already caught up.
Well, we seem to have isolated it in this to one of these two ships, and I am. Well,
Are you okay?
it just figures. It figures it would be down by the water. But I would think that a thing like this would not want to be so close to the water. Unless it doesn't affect it. All of those metals.
You mean like rusting?
Well, that's what I would assume. The seawater would not treat it so well. But I am no expert. I prefer to stay, well, to be honest, much further away from the seawater than I am right now.
Well, unfortunately, with this little gizmo, it looks like near the water we should be right now.
Right, so let's choose a ship.
You're just going to walk up onto it?
Why not?
Is that a thing you can do? Can you just walk up onto somebody's ship?
You can walk into anywhere.
Well, she can.
Let me
Unless you're
rephrase this. Are you going to walk in the front door of the ship, or are you going to sneak into it?
Well, all right, I'm going to sneak into it. Happy?
Well, that's all I was wondering. I mean, it seems a little more dangerous to just walk up in the front door. Look.
So,
I have...
go ahead, sorry.
No, you go ahead, Bevyn.
No, as I walk up, I'm several seconds after everybody else, but I want to take a close look at both, see if I can see anything that would be advantageous to us trying to get onto either of these ships. Which one might be easier to get on? Patterns of people, whatever, or if I see anything that might hint that this thing might be on either of these ships.
With the exception of the fact that there are two different figureheads, they both look like mirror images of each other. Same type of crew, kind of working both of them. You see only one avenue point inside, unless you want to try to jump in the water and climb the side and be sneaky about it. But there looks to be, probably a good 20 individuals kind of mulling about on each side of the ship. The ships aren't high, super high that you can't see. Like there may be, they're probably sitting, 10 feet above the water, maybe 15 feet above the water. So you can see people working and moving and walking, and the four of you are literally standing on the dock.
Anna, I don't think sneaking might be kind of hard here, but at least the old-fashioned way. But maybe there's some other ways we can get on board one of these ships. And so here's what I'm thinking. I'm looking for any way that I could disguise myself to like a member of the crew on these ships. I have master of disguise capabilities, and I don't know exactly how that works. I haven't used it before.
You know what? Neither have I. So basically a disguise kit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you have a disguise kit.
Mm-hmm.
I believe, if memory serves me correctly, if you spend a certain amount of time with it, you can pass a check. I'm just the darn worst here, but I know it's around here somewhere. Here we go. The pouch contains cosmetics, hair dye, small props. Proficiency with this kit. Do you have proficiency with it?
Is that from your background, or is that from your subclass?
Okay, then yes, you do have. If it's from your background, then you have proficiency. You can add your proficiency bonus to any ability checks you make to create a visual disguise.
Okay.
No, depending on what you are thinking, Bevyn, I do have my own magical abilities to disguise myself as well.
I think disguise is the way to go here. I think tight quarters, limited access, we're more likely to get caught trying to sneak around, but we can get on board, even for just a short period of time, act like we're supposed to be there. We can probably find some stuff we're looking for.
So, as an assassin, I do get proficiency with disguise kits as well as poisoners kits.
Nice.
It's fun.
Nice. Well, what we'll do is I'll tell you what. If you guys are going to go and disguise yourselves as like members of the crew, I'll say that you guys probably like go to the nearest inn, which would be the Sailor's Corner, which is basically right at the end of the dock. Find yourself a little hidey hole and kind of make yourselves up to look like part of the crew. And it'll be that point right now. Well, we'll take a break while you guys make yourselves up and look all cool, and totally not get caught, maybe. So yeah. So we'll kind of just put a break there. Thanks everyone for joining us this evening. It's been fun. I love this game so much. It's so great, and it's nice having these players just blindly walking into my horrendous traps. I love these guys. But anyway, I'll turn it over to Jake. So Jake can do the cool Jake stuff.
Yep, we're going to go ahead. As Mike said, we are going to take a quick 10-minute break, during which time you can go ahead and do your own refreshments and whatnot, or you can stick around and watch the advertisements that will play during our break. We will be back in just 10 minutes. See you then. Hey internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is The Intermission. Mini Terrain Domain, or MTD, is a channel dedicated to the love of and participation in the world of tabletop role-playing games. Whether we're designing encounters or miniature terrain, building worlds or dice towers, or just playing games, everything we do here is because we love this amazing hobby. That is why the mission statement of Mini Terrain Domain is simply imagine, build, play. If you like to watch live play or actual play D&D games, you can do so at twitch.tv/Mini Terrain Domain 3 days a week at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. On Sundays, you can join us for Cult of Personality, a long-running campaign set in the Tomb of Annihilation adventure setting. On Mondays, you can join us for All That Glitters, a Waterdeep Dragon Heist campaign guaranteed to be epic proportion. And every Thursday night, you can join us for Dawnbringers, the Forge of Fury. This is a series of mini campaigns going across the gamut of several well-known modules. Season 1, which is available on youtube.com/miniterrain domain, took place in the Sunless Citadel. And Season 2 is currently taking place in the Forge of Fury. If you can't join us in the chat for our live shows, that's okay. You can usually catch the roleplay, or rather the replay, on YouTube just 2 days later. If you're a fan of what we do here and you'd like to support what we do, there are a variety of ways you can do this. First, simply follow the Twitch channel or hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Next, make sure you follow all of the participants of each game or show on their various social media platforms. To do this, if you're watching live with us on Twitch, you can simply type an exclamation point and that person's name into the Twitch chat, or on YouTube, you can look down below the information bar and all of their links can be found there. Finally, if you would like to provide monetary support, which flows right back into the production of the channel so we can continue making great content, you can join the growing list of patrons on Patreon. Additionally, you can also use Ko-Fi or Coffee to buy a coffee or two. I like coffee. But the absolute best way to support the channel is to follow and subscribe on Twitch and YouTube and join us in the chat. If you have an Amazon Prime account and you link it to your Twitch account, you can subscribe to one channel per month absolutely free. No matter what you decide to do, we are just happy to have you here. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more great content in just a few moments. Remember, metadata!
Hi everyone, I'm V and I have the YouTube channel, The Crafting Muse. Please be sure to go over there and check it out if you too would like to learn how to make some tabletop terrain, paint miniatures, as well as some game accessories. I'm always happy to have new subscribers over there.
Learn the ways of the Game Master, the Dungeon Master, and delve into the minds of the players. If you're looking for adventure, excitement, thrills, and a dice-rolling good time, grab the modules each month and play the campaign with your gaming group with quest givers DM Scotty and DMG. They're taking you on an epic journey through the role-playing experience every Friday. You're sure to get hooked on adventure.
And we really liked the idea of creating adventures together, so we thought that'd be a lot of fun to share with you guys.
I didn't think this kind of stuff would come out of my brain. We are quest givers, and I'll see you in the next video.
Adventure Mixtape, a music and adventure anthology, is a collection of 4 adventures for the 5th edition of the world's most popular role-playing game. The adventures are setting neutral and meant to be seamlessly dropped into any world that has a large seaside city and a jungle environment. With a bit of adaptation, the environments could be changed to suit any group. In Treaty of the Tiger King by Kelsey Dion of the Arcane Library, a distant king arrives at the city to negotiate the peaceful end of a war, but the Mercenary Guild has other insidious plans for him. Will the players be able to thwart assassination attempts against King Rami and help him negotiate circles of social intrigue in order to finally end the war? In Madness of the Majestic Menagerie by Ken Brees of Burling's Beard, the famous Majestic Menagerie draws hordes of visitors to the metropolis and cultural hub known since time immemorial as Splendor by the Sea. But now the gates of the famous zoo have been shut, and the grand opening of the new section has been jeopardized by a spate of mysterious accidents and, it's whispered, grievous injuries due to uncontrollable creatures. Mr. Majestic seeks to hire investigators and troubleshooters who can keep a low profile to iron out any problems before the impending grand opening becomes a complete disaster. Do you have what it takes to uncover what's driving the madness that's befallen the Majestic Menagerie? In The Infernal Collection by Sharm Biswas, when an influential fashion designer is found dead days before a major fashion show, heroes are called in to solve the mystery, prevent any further destruction, and help the fashion house prepare for the show. Gorillas in Their Midst by Jacob W. Norman of Mini Terrain Domain is a pulp action adventure wrought with perilous challenges and high possibility of death. But what is adventure without danger? Of course, there is the lure of vast piles of unclaimed treasure and the accompanying fame that await those intrepid adventurers who would defy the odds and plunge into the heart of darkness. In this adventure, the characters will face raging river rapids, wicked waterfalls, poisonous plants, venomous vines, sinking sands, treacherous traps, and the vicious jungle demon itself, Awakane Gori. Grab your satchels, fedoras, and bullwhips. Adventure awaits. The Adventure mixtape also comes with 4 original songs inspired by and written for the heroic adventures herein. This collection of music and story is something unique. We had no better word for it than mixtape. If you ever received a cassette, CD, or digital playlist curated to take you on a memorable journey, then you'll recognize what you find inside this volume. Also included in the Adventure mixtape, courtesy of Kelsey Dion of the Arcane Library, are exclusive combat cards. Special cards that contain all of the items, monsters, and spellcasters found within these adventures to make running your adventure all the more easier. Adventure Mixtape, a music and adventure anthology, is available exclusively on drivethrurpg.com.
Cryforth, once home to the most wondrous kingdom the world had ever known, blasted to nothing in just a fortnight. It is here that the fiends of hell walk among us. It is here where all things die. Welcome to Cryforth. Demon invaders roam the landscape and have conquered all. The world is a ravaged and wrathful wasteland, where the old world lies buried beneath the blood and sand with its gods and its secrets. Water is fought over with blood and steel. Compatible with the 5th edition of the world's oldest fantasy role-playing game, this book contains all new character creation options, including all of the familiar classes with new aspects befitting the ravaged wastelands of Cryforth, along with new backgrounds, subclasses, spells, feats, and so much more. New races will allow you to play as the Cursed Ash Elves, the Forsaken Humans, the Primordial Incarnate, the Proud Orcs, the Reptilian Suri, or the Infernal-Blooded Tieflings. New game mechanics such as blood, grit, and effort give your games an intense focus on lethality and survival. Numerous roll tables full of ideas to help bring your games to life. Featuring incredible thematic art by Brandish Gilhelm of Runehammer Games, as well as Lloyd Collins. The people of Cryforth are not heroes. In Cryforth it is courage just to survive. Will you rise to face the tide of demons, or will you succumb to the hostile elements? Available now on drivethrurpg.com.
And we're back.
All right. Well, after a bit of makeup montage, you have all... Yeah?
Kiara has told Six that she wants to look like a wizened old man. Sailor. So...
I step out for 2 minutes and you guys all have like, okay.
I'd use my disguise kit to make her up into what I think a wizened old man looks like. And I'm basically just looking at like 3 or 4 of the sailors. I mean, I'm proficient with the disguise kit.
Yeah. All right. I'll tell you what. Then for that, I need a roll. Matter of fact, I'm going to need a roll for everyone that's going to use a disguise kit. And only to apply everything to make it look convincing. So it'll be Let's make it intelligence. I
Hmm.
think is probably. Oh,
Xanathar's has expanded rules for
oh, cool.
copy a human. Oh, geez. We're not trying to copy a specific person's appearance. That's a
No.
DC 20. Good lord.
Oh yeah, no.
Spot a
no.
disguise being used by somebody else. Cover injuries or distinguishing marks. It doesn't really give any other specifications on it. It just
Doesn't
gives
say
you some
what.
general ideas of how you can use it. I thought
Sure.
maybe it had specific
So
skills.
I'm thinking like it would probably be intelligence because just to apply it to make sure it looks like good. I don't think really charisma wouldn't be something, and wisdom.
I wholeheartedly agree with that.
All right, so that's a 22 from Anna. Anna, what do you look like? Because you look exactly how you're about to describe it.
Anna looks like herself from just her face, but she is wearing the garb of the sailors, and she's going to be adding just some smudges to her face, just with the comment, you don't have to go super complex, just a simple suit, and I think they say yar a lot.
I'm going to use a domain die.
Oh no!
I don't know if I've ever used a domain die.
Hey, but it's got to feel good. And Bevyn, yeah, you look very convincing.
Yeah, and that is very similar to Anna. It's simple, straightforward, maybe a little bit of aging to the face, hair colors, kind of a brown, a few tattoos on the exposed areas of my arms, but straightforward and simple.
Okay.
So
what'd you get, buddy?
So I rolled a 3 the first time, which with my proficiency bonus is only a 5. But with my intelligence modifier added in there as well, makes it a 4. So I used the domain die and then rolled the exact same thing. So I don't use this disguise kit very often because being a tabaxi, there's not a whole lot I can do.
Okay.
A lot of the the glues and spirits used in adhering things is very old. Some of the makeup is crackly. The pigments are all worn out. But what I do is this. I imagine I'm looking around at like 3 or 4 older men in this pub, this tavern, and trying my best to mishmash something together. And I kind of finish it off with sort of putting some grease paint, rubbing it in my paws, and rubbing it into Kiara's hair to tousle it up. And then I do this really half-assed goatee where I put some of this glue on, but I use really quickly, I take a small scissors in my kit, and I cut some of my own fur off and use that to create this... And even I know this is a really terrible disguise, but I look at you and I'm just like, wait a minute.
Perfection.
Yes. Maybe if you just keep your head down as much as you can. Don't look anybody in the eyes. Don't get too close to anybody. Don't say anything. That's probably going to be our best bet. Otherwise, it's perfect. Meanwhile, go ahead.
Kiara's gonna look at Anna like, do I buy this or not?
Anna just kind of like, her eyes are wide. She just shakes her head, trying to hold in a laugh.
All right, Kiara will pull her hood up even further and like down the front just to kind of hide herself more.
Meanwhile,
knowing if she does disguise self, she's gonna ruin someone's pride.
For my own disguise, I am, while all of this is going on, I'm listening to the way the different people are talking picking up on the particular voice that seems to rise above the others with that slightly. I mean, do the people here have that cliched sort of piratey sound, or?
If you ever wanted to experience virtually every accent you could possibly find along the Sword Coast, you would probably go to the Dock Ward. So you hear an absolute myriad of different different accents. I mean, you hear that classic Cornish accent that has been very stereotyped, at least in on planet Earth, for like pirate accents, or you've also hear areas like around Luskin, which is a bit swarthier, a bit more kind of almost Spanish like. You hear accents that come from all the way down even into Chult. A few, like, it seems that a few merchants are there. So yeah, you hear lots of different accents from all over.
What have Anna and Bevyn made themselves look like?
Sailors.
Just generic.
Yeah.
Excellent. First of all, I magically use disguise self to make myself appear about a foot shorter and about 100 pounds heavier. I make myself appear to be a overweight male noble, or not quite a noble, like the southern edge of noble, like somebody that's either new money or lost all their money, and I'm going to listen and perfect quietly to myself an accent based on what I've heard. And we'll just have to wait and see what that is when and if I have to talk.
I'm so happy this gets recorded. That's all I'm going to say.
And just, I do have, similar to Six, I have the ability to mimic speech patterns after listening to it. So I've picked out one person in the pub where we are.
All right.
Done the same. So.
And Kiara, I mean, I'm just curious. Are you not going to cast Disguise Self, or can you? Because if memory serves me correctly,
she
trickery, can. Yeah. Okay.
She absolutely can. She may be waiting until the timing's a little bit better so she can adjust.
Probably for the best.
When Six isn't looking.
Okay. And again, it all goes without a hitch. You're all ready to go, pretty much. So how are you going to proceed onto this vessel?
Which vessel should we go on to? I think, given our current disguises, it would be best if you appear to be in my employ.
Right. Lead the way, boss.
Which ship are we going?
Lead the way, boss.
Your pick. Heartbreaker or Hellraiser?
All right. And then as we head down the dock, I carry myself chin up. Well, chins up, I should say. And with a very pronounced walk. While it is just an illusion, I kind of step heavily to emphasize that extra weight as I walk across the dock. As we come between the two ships.
Oh, yes, this one will do nicely. Please, lead the way. Head up, Parsons. Please,
lead the way for me and make sure that all is clear and safe as we head aboard the Heartbreaker.
So I just glance, just stare right at Six as I walk past onto the gangway. Right, boss. Leading the way. And I'll head up onto the ship.
Totally, as an aside, Jake, if you call one of them Alan, you'll forever get disadvantage. Forever. Ever.
Do you not like the Alan Parsons Project?
You know what? I never got into them. There you go. Full disclosure, cards on the table.
I grew up listening to it.
And poor Megan's sitting there like, this is an old person's joke. I don't get it. And I really wish I had more pizza. They're an old band. There you go. Now you know.
Hey, I'm 41 and I only know him from Austin Powers, so it's all good.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, it flew over my head too, so I'm kind of like, okay.
I wasn't going that way anyway.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. You said Parsons, and I'm like, oh, this better not be what I think it is.
I had no intention of doing that. As Bevyn / Parsons leads the way, Bevyn / Parsons leads the way up. I look back at the other two, and come along, Ellen.
I knew it. Son of a. All right. As you walk onto the gangway and onto the vessel, you see a lot of individuals working. One thing you notice about the crew, they're all very thin. Like very trim.
Boy, did I pick the wrong disguise.
Normally, like sailors don't have the best diets, especially when it comes to like booze and hardtack. But all these sailors seem to move very lively and very quickly throughout the vessel. And as they're working away, they stop, or a few of them stop and look at you. And who might you be?
You have the honor of addressing Sir Devin Hertfordshire, the third of the fourth.
Right. You do know whose vessel you are stepping on, do you not?
All that I know is that I've had the delivery here to the docks, and I'm fairly certain it has been delivered to one of these vessels. And I'm holding the nimble rate detector as if it's an actual umbrella.
So definitely a Wile E. Coyote holding that little tiny parasol over your head before the rock comes. Okay. Because that's really what it looks like to pretty much everyone else. It's like this tiny little umbrella that barely covers the top of your head. The detector itself, though, is like flashing, and it's like or not flashing, but it's like it's making noise, and it's kind of moving left and right. You don't belong here, and I would highly suggest that the four of you leave.
If I do not belong here, then why is my personal property been delivered to this vessel? You speak as though I should know whose vessel this is. Would you care to enlighten me, deckhand?
At this point, there's now 10 sailors kind of in a semicircle around all of you. 4 of them draw their scimitars that they have on their sides. You are standing on the Heartbreaker, one of 3 ships belonging to the fleet of the Sea Maidens Fair, owned by the great Zardoz Zord. Now, if you don't leave, it would appear that you would be trying to steal our vessel. And as such, we would have to defend ourselves.
My good man, I find it preposterous and amusing that you would think that one such as myself and a mere crew of 3 could attempt to commandeer your vessel. It appears though perhaps I've misplaced my perusal in searching for my personal property. Aaron Parsons! Perhaps we should embark on a different project.
Right, boss.
God damn it. As you're turning, the captain of the vessel, clearly kind of a larger, taller human, walks out. What is going on here? Is there something that you need? You said you are looking for something. What is it that you are looking for?
It is a piece of property that we seem to have misplaced. Originally, I thought that perhaps it had been delivered to this vessel, but it appears as though I may have been mistaken. I turn to Kiara in disguise. Perhaps you got the directions wrong, Floyd.
Possible. Had too much beer at lunch. Maybe it was the hot Sora.
You can see it is, of course, a simple case of mistaken identity on the part of our ability to identify this vessel. As they say, no harm, no foul.
One sec. That's what I thought. The captain looks at all of you, and it doesn't take much for the 4 of you to hear that there are now 4 sailors from the Hellraiser coming up the back end, and they have their arms crossed as well. Their scimitars kind of at their belts. You know, one thing that I ask when anyone boards this vessel is that you may bring anything to your heart's content here aboard the Heartbreaker or the Hellraiser. However, there is one thing that I do not allow on this ship, nor does my fellow captain allow aboard hers. Deception. Deception will do you no good. And you hear him mumble some words kind of under his breath. And I just need to make a quick roll. Yep. You begin to feel the effects of your magical disguises begin to kind of melt away. Your fur begins to kind of peek through the folds of this noble's visage. Kiara, your much better makeup now reverts back to really terrible makeup as the disguise self begins to melt away from your spell as he has cast Dispel Magic. Now, do you know, I once heard that you can get very, very far in any situation if you simply tell the truth. So, why don't you tell me why you are here, and then we may talk.
We happen to be looking for an automaton-like creature, little robot man thingy, because we have a feeling that it was throwing fireballs at our home.
And the captain turns to you very briefly, Six. See, that wasn't so hard. Certainly, my lady. My lady? It is my lady, isn't it? You have
She'll push the hood back and kind of take the fake beard off at this point.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, was that the backseat? Oh.
His idea, not mine.
I see. Well, that is all you had to say. I will tell you what. Allow me to contact the great Zardoz Zord himself, so that you all may speak, and we can clear this entire matter up. Would that be to your liking?
Sounds reasonable to me.
Wonderful. And to the rest of you, get back to work. Except for you, and you. Get them some refreshments, perhaps some wine. Would you like wine?
I certainly wouldn't say no to something to calm the nerves.
Wonderful. We have this very nice Lantanese red. Excuse me. And he goes off. And the three of these sailors come to you with a bottle, some glasses. A couple of them have a couple of deck chairs that they kind of sit down and set down for you.
I just down my entire glass and hand it right back to the guy that handed it to me, and just slump right down in the chair.
He gives you a very appreciative nod, like nice, and then just hands you the bottle and then just walks away, realizing that to even try and give you the glass back would be folly. The captain comes back not 6 minutes later. The great Zardoz Zord would be more than happy to speak with you. If you would like, we can send you aboard his flagship, the Eye Catcher. It is just in the harbor. We will row you out to the Eye Catcher, as Zardoz Zord, well, he's not very particularly fond of too many people bothering him. The parade is somewhat of an art for him. So it is very important that he has peace so that he may concentrate. We're at a very important time, as you can well imagine.
So it's all about the creative process, and she's going to look directly at Six.
This is, of course, This is, of course, something I can greatly appreciate. The creativity of a performance, as I'm sure you can surely appreciate the performance arts.
And he kind of gives a kind of quick bow and a smile. If you would follow me, please.
Can Anna roll an insight check to see if she has the most suspicious look on her face?
Sure, yeah, go for it. You insight that.
Mm-hmm. 16.
Okay, I'll send you a private message. And that's what you kind of get from him.
So she still has this look, but she follows him, but she's gonna go by Bevyn and just kind of tap out against him that in Thieves' Cant that she doesn't trust him and to be careful.
And Bevyn will tap back that I don't trust anyone. So.
All right. You're led to the other side of the vessel where you see a rather large, really nice rowboat that's already been lowered. There are two sailors at the already in the boat. Each one of them has a large oar ready to sail. There's a rope ladder that heads down to the skiff, for lack of a better term. Do you all go down?
I absolutely go down. I'm completely 100% trusting of this person.
So, and after Anna's warning, combined with my natural skepticism, I'll be keeping track, like keeping an eye on everybody else in the skiff, looking
Sure.
for odd movements, anybody going for weapons, anything like that. So,
not a problem. You actually see that the two sailors that are in the boat do not have their scimitars with them. They don't have any obvious weapons, with the exception maybe of like a utility knife that might be strapped to like their thigh or something. But it's less of a dagger. Like you could tell the difference between you could tell the difference between a Swiss Army knife and like a Bowie knife. You know what I mean? So like a utility knife, it doesn't seem like it's really made for attacking. Other than that, they have no weapons. As they both begin to row, they say nothing. They don't really they don't come out and make small talk or anything. It's not really a nautical Uber or anything.
Point of note: 6 has both feet pressed against the gunnels of the rowboat, and both hands on the edges with claws out.
Oh yeah, how about that?
As I suddenly realize we are rowing over open water.
You most certainly are. You most certainly are. It takes just a few moments, but you see now the eye catcher, a much larger vessel. Like if you took the Heartbreaker and the Hellraiser and basically put them both on top of each other, that would still almost be the height of the eye catcher. It's this massive ship, this huge figurehead of what looks to be a kind of like this kind of mermaid-esque character with that's kind of like pointing. It's all in it looks like it's in gilded gold. Just huge and a little ostentatious, but you're going to be a guest, so you probably don't want to mention that. And the whole ship is done in what looks to be like thick dark wood. It looks very, very sturdy and very strong. You see a lot of ports, just like I would say gun ports, but obviously not cannon. It looks to be like, if you were to hazard a guess, especially those who are a bit more military minded or any type of thing, you probably think that would be where they would have ballistae kind of stored in some of those other areas. And you see a couple of individuals standing at the top of the gunnels, waiting as the ship pulls alongside and a rope ladder is lowered for you all to climb up.
I immediately grab hold of the rope ladder and climb to the top.
That's fair. As a matter of fact, you've probably never moved so fast in your entire life. You could dash climb, you probably would. Actually, Tabaxi
I have a Tabaxi feature that allows me to move 2 times my speed. So I absolutely use that.
Done and done. You zip right up aboard the ship, and you see 2 sailors again. They kind of look alike, but I mean, all sailors look alike, really. A bit scraggly hair, vests, kind of shorts. Again, very thin. They both stand and just kind of wait for the others to come up.
Yes, hello. The others will be along momentarily. I was just so eager to meet your captain.
How far are we? How far have we come out to the ship?
So you are now technically in the harbor. If you were to look at the map and you were to see where that kind of seawall extends out.
Mhm.
There's a gate. The ship is near the gate.
Oh,
Okay. So quite a ways.
Quite a ways.
Okay.
Okay. I will follow up the ladder then.
Right on. And how about the rest of you? Or the other, I guess the last two of you, Kiara and Anna. Would you be both going up?
At this point, probably.
Okay.
I don't know if Anna would. I'm just trying to think. Because her mindset is that she wants to make sure that this boat doesn't just leave. Nope, she goes up.
Right on, right on. Good to hear. And as you go up, you're all ushered into what looks to be the captain's mess. And it's essentially this very beautiful, it's just this it's just bedecked. Like this whole thing is just bedecked with gold filigree and purple velvet drapes. Six, if you had the money, this would be your dining, your premier dining room. There's just this wood paneling that's just it's got this scent of perfume that just kind of lingers in the air. There's silken tassels hanging off of everything. The table is long and it is bedecked with a feast like you've never seen. Roasted oryx and yams steamed in what looks to be some type of a honey Dijon gravy, and I mean just the smells, fresh baked bread, huge loaves of bread everywhere, and this beautiful fine roasted full on massive salmon that has to be at least a 60-pound salmon, just filleted, roasted on, and just cut up just to be able to just so you can just grab a hold of it. There is an individual who's standing behind everything, and he seems to be not a little scantily clad. He's dressed in just a very thin vest. He has this massive hat with this huge white plume coming off of it. It's almost ridiculous in its size. He has every patch of clothing is all scarlet, and he has these large knee-high boots that are just of this beautiful calfskin leather. He just looks wonderfully in place in a room like this, but probably out of place if he was not in there. He seems to be something out of a silly novel, but he's just so the way he's just bedecked. He raises a wine glass to you all and says, "My friends, welcome to the Eye Catcher. I am your host, Captain Zardazort." And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Right before Six can say something that
I was going to say
right before Six can put his paw in his mouth.
It's I love this man.
Exactly. Best buddies.
You may possibly, depending on how this plays out, you may possibly have just created the Gilmore to my Vex. Or Vax, not Vex.
Vax, yeah. Very well could be. I don't know. Hey, everyone, thanks so much for joining us tonight. I had fun. Luckily, we didn't have to drop any players tonight. But hey, you know what? There's always tomorrow. So, I mean, much like every time someone comes in to watch NASCAR for the mostly for the accidents and not for all the left turns, you can join us here next Monday when I promise one of these players is gonna die. I mean,
wait, what?
What?
Wait a minute.
The characters.
Still, wait, what?
You watch two bowlers later. We'll see if these players are still standing.
Hey, I'm just glad I didn't get us killed in that last interaction.
Me too.
Dwight, what is it with me and bards? Why am I always getting into trouble?
I don't know. Just don't do any backflips. So.
Oh, that's why I took Featherfall with this character. All right, well, thank you, Mike, as always, for an incredible session. I think we can all agree that we love getting into the salty air and high population of Waterdeep. So many more opportunities for us to get into trouble. Or solve mysteries, or whatever. So, as usual, thank you, Mike. Thank you to V, to Dwight, and to Megan. Thank you to everybody that tuned in tonight, and a special shout out to Star19 for dropping the 500 bits to purchase the domain die that I used to no avail. And thank you to Mike for giving me the inspiration to name my cohorts Alan and Parsons, and I even slipped a Pink Floyd in there a little bit. I almost called Kiara's character Pink Floyd. Thought that was a little too on the nose, but that's all you, buddy, because I was not even thinking Alan Parsons until you said it. So you can tune in here on Mini Terrain Domain, twitch.tv/Mini Terrain Domain, every Monday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern for All That Glitters. You can turn in on Sunday nights to see myself as the DM with Mike and Megan in our Jolt of Personality Tomb of Annihilation campaign. We just wrapped session 38 last night, and it was a doozy. And then coming up this Thursday, we, Megan and V and I return back to our primary story, along with DM Scotty, Jeremy, and Ted for The Forge of Fury. Also at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on twitch.tv/Mini Terrain Domain. Be sure to check out everybody's social media links up above their heads or in the chat with the chat commands for their name. We thank you for your support, even just watching us. Be sure to hit that follow button so you can be notified whenever we go live. And now we are going to get out of here. We're going to end the stream the same way we end every stream. And you can say it with me if you want. Make it